Mrs. Helen Zille was approached to become a mayor of Joburg. The first question is, do you think she should accept this? The second question is, do you think she can change Joburg and make it better? What we are going to do is to listen to what Mrs. Helen Zille said. Please stay tuned. You can like the video, you can subscribe. Enjoy the video.
Candidate for mayor in Johannesburg, who approached you?
Look, I'm obviously not going to talk about who approached me, because then I can ask you who leaked the story to you. I mean, the point is that I was approached, I am considering it, and I might well put my hat in the ring.
Were you approached within the party or externally?
Within and externally, actually, both.
And when were you approached?
Well, for a long time. It's been for a long time. And we've been headhunting many, many people. I've spent a lot of time in Johannesburg trying to find the very best people we can to apply, because in the Democratic Alliance, we like competition. We like a lot of good people to come and share their visions, say where they would like to take Johannesburg, and convince the selection panel that they're the right person. We don't have coronations in the DA, we have competition, and we want lots of competition. So that's what we've been trying to do for the better part of a year.
And in terms of the people who've approached you then, Helen, why do they think you are the best option for Johannesburg?
Well, they can't say that I'm the best, because the selection panel will decide whether or not I'm a contender. I mean, there are lots of very good people who are going to be there, and certainly there's no way outside that process who can say this person is going to be the best contender at all. So the reason is that Johannesburg is very broken, and we need to fix Johannesburg if we want South Africa to work. That's just the simple fact. And we need to get a really good team in Johannesburg to get into government and to fix it. That is the key job we have to do in the next election cycle. I've always said that change comes from the bottom up, from local authorities up. And I can assure you that if we don't get Johannesburg and Tshwane and Ekurhuleni and the other metros right, we can't get South Africa right. So that is the motivation.
Can the DA fix Johannesburg without you?
Yes, of course. I mean, nobody's indispensable. Absolutely nobody's indispensable. And it just is a matter of who applies where and who is selected where. We have a very rigorous process in the DA. Lots of people apply. Then the first step is a screening panel, and you have to achieve a number of criteria in terms of screening to go through to the next level. And then if you go through to the next level, you have to do a major presentation to the panel, and then you have questions on your presentation, and then you have unseen questions in 6 different categories, and those are very challenging. So, it's a process.
The challenge in some of the analysis when it comes to you, Helen, considering being the candidate for the DA for Johannesburg mayor, is that you come with a history. That history is polarizing, as I'm sure you've seen, even in the reactions. Do you not worry that the noise around you and, quite frankly, the outright dislike, even among the parties in council in an era of coalition politics, might not be the best way for the DA campaign to run, that it might work against the organization's campaign for next year's election?
Well, I've been amazed at how positive the response has been. I thought the response would be far more negative. And it is very encouraging to me how positive the response has been if you look on all the polls, on all the discussion groupings. And of course, in politics, you want to gear up for a fight. It's well known that in politics, if you want to win an election, you have to win a fight. And if you want to win a fight, you have to start a fight. So it's very problematic if politicians don't roll up their sleeves and get into the boxing ring.
But would it not be an easier journey to the top for the DA if they had, say, a mayoral candidate who didn't come with as many issues that, in fact, by the way, are not necessarily about the organization, but are about the individual themselves, as is the case with you?
Well, one of the things I have got is having run coalitions successfully. The other thing that I've got is having started the process of turning around Cape Town and then turning around the Western Cape. So those are all of the things that come with me, but I don't have to convince you, and I don't have to do my pitch to you at all, because A, you aren't going to be there, and B, I don't think that anybody outside the process can understand the issues that have to be addressed.
Well, you're not pitching it to me. The reality is there are people who are watching this evening who will be voting in the local government election. Whether I'm impressed or not is neither here nor there. It's not about me, it's about the people who are listening, who are undecided, especially at a time where you know that no one has had, in at least 2 successive elections, an outright majority in the local government election. So you're pitching to them and not me, because they vote, not just the federal council.
I'm not pitching to anybody at the moment because I haven't decided to run yet. And if I do decide to run, the first pitch I'm going to have to make is to the selection panel. And if I happen to be amongst all the contenders the successful candidate, then I will pitch to the voters and they can make up their mind. But if the voters want water in their taps, and if the voters want lights to come on when they switch them on, and if voters want their roads to be passable and potholes to be filled, and if voters want traffic lights to work and rubbish to be picked up, they know what to do.
So what's going to clinch it for you? Because you say you're undecided.
Well, what's going to clinch it for me is the toss-up between different pressures. Number one, I love Joburg. I was born in Joburg. I think I have unfinished business in Joburg. I was born in Hillbrow. I lived in Hillbrow for many years when I was a journalist. And it's very sad for me to see how it's unraveled. And another big pull factor for me is the fact that Joburg is South Africa's financial and economic capital. And obviously that has to work. No one is going to invest in a place where there's no water on several days, where there are such big potholes in the road that they are largely impassable, where there are no street lights, where crime is escalating, and where rubbish is all over the place, and where you can't get electricity reliably. I mean, nobody's going to invest in a place like that. And that economy then can only unravel and collapse.
And what about your role in the federal leadership of the DA? You've got a Congress coming up, I think April of next year, 2026. Is that also part of your calculations? Is it more appealing, perhaps, than a mayorship in Johannesburg?
Well, it would be a lot easier than the mayorship in Johannesburg to stay where I am and to run again for chair of federal council. I'm pretty much on top of this job now, and it's become a routine for me, which is not a bad thing. I like challenges. I like big challenges. And Joburg seems to be a very big challenge. So I've got to decide whether I want to have a peaceful life or a challenging life. And then the candidate selection process has to decide whether I'm the right candidate or not.
Does it matter to you which comes first then between the two, the election or the federal Congress, in terms of where your fate will lie, let's say in the next 12 months?
Well, by that time I will have had to obviously make up my mind, and so will the selection panel have sat. So the applications close this Friday, and anybody, and if any listener wants to apply to be the mayor of Joburg, please go to DA. First you go to apply.da.org.za, apply.da.org.za. You do have to be a DA member to qualify to be a mayor of Johannesburg, and you have to be prepared to live in Johannesburg in order to be the mayor of Johannesburg, obviously. But if anybody wants to be the mayor and fits those criteria, they've got what it takes, please apply. We want competition in the DA.
Helen Zille.